Hey everyone, Decent Eddie here. It's Thursday, July 10th, 2025. Right now, my confident moneyline picks are sitting at 79% for the season, and I'm at 63% for all WNBA games this season. Hey guys, yesterday was a rough one for everybody, at least for me, and it's a great example why I say to never spend more than 10% of your bankroll in a day. It's also one of the reasons why I've been able to not have to replenish my bankroll since I started doing this. You live to fight another day if you follow that simple rule. All right, like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell for daily picks before tip-off on the day of the game. And remember, always check matchup and injury news about 20 minutes before tip-off because that matters. Before finalizing your picks, if you're smart, you'll do it. My goal is to help you make more informed decisions. While my data set focuses on moneyline picks, my analysis can be useful for spread and over-under bets. We've got 2 games today, and we've got a 3 o'clock tip-off. First up, Lynx versus Sparks. Lynx have weak legs and get a danger pick with a differential of a 2.316. That is a 56% chance to win the head-to-head by my historical data going back to the day one of the WNBA season. The current market has the Lynx as 6.5-point favorites against the spread. The market is implying a 74% chance for the Lynx to win, and the over-under is set at 162.5 points. However, the qualitative information adds layers. If you read the news, which you should, the Lynx are undeniably dominant. With the WNBA's best record, they've got an elite offense. The defense is, they're fantastic. Plus, they've historically crushed the Sparks in their previous matchups, averaging almost 18 points ahead of them. That's facts. Those are numbers. You can't ignore those things. And yet, they are on the second night of a back-to-back road trip on the West Coast and just lost to the Mercury. Sparks are at home. Sparks are well rested. They're coming off a road win. Also, their offense appears to be surging in the last few games. They're averaging over 90 points in their last 5 games. That's terrific. The recent offensive uptick does need to be kind of tempered a bit because their defensive metrics aren't that great. That's notable. Also, given Cameron Brink is still out for the Sparks, you got to consider that too. Given the danger pick from my data and the market's much higher confidence at Lynx with 6.5, this matchup fits what I call an overvalued favorite / contradictory confidence play. We've seen it happen a few times this season already with the WNBA. You've got to consider the market is potentially overvaluing the Lynx's ability to cover that spread in this particular matchup, especially with the fatigue and being on the West Coast. Therefore, I'm considering the Sparks at 6.5 against the spread. For the over-under, keeping in mind the Sparks' recent offensive surge and their consistently weak defense against the Lynx offense. Now, I can already see what my messages are going to look like. Eddie, the Lynx are great. The Sparks aren't. Are you sure about this? Well, kind of, yeah. There's never a sure thing in any of this. But check in the math. The Sparks at 6.5 against the spread has a probability of 54%. That's better than 50%. I'll take it. But if you want to buy a point and make it a 7.5 against the spread, you can certainly do that to mitigate some risk. It just won't pay as much, which is fine if you're fine with it. Remember, part of the idea behind against the spread bets is you're betting a team is either going to over or underperform against historical expectations, and there are notable considerations here for that. The game has potential for a higher score than expected. The prediction for the over, and just looking at the numbers at 162.5 points, I think is a good one to take. As for the money line, my data's favorite is the Lynx. The book's favorite is the Lynx. I'll take Lynx for my data tracking on the money line for myself. However, due to the weak legs for the Lynx and Sparks being rested and at home, that danger is real and an implied no pick for you if I'm just being honest with you, friends. But you're free to do whatever you want. That's just my opinion based on the math. Next up and last up, Mystics versus Aces, wrapping things up. Mystics get a ridiculously small danger pick margin in my numbers at a 0.09, implying a win probability of 51% by my data. The market has the Mystics as 2.5-point favorites, implying a 59% chance for the Mystics to win. The over-under is set at 157.5 points. These teams do almost nothing very well, according to my data set. However, the Mystics are at home, and that can account for something. Qualitatively, this game shifts significantly. The Aces are a team they're kind of in disarray. They've got a really good roster, but their record isn't as good as their roster might suggest. So yeah, disarray might be a good term to use. I mean, they're struggling offensively. Wilson may be out with a wrist injury. It was an ugly injury. She's questionable last I looked, so check that injury report before tip-off. The Mystics at home, rested. They've won 4 of their last 6, showing respectable defense, and they're good at the line. Historically, the Mystics have covered the spread in their last 3 and 6 of the last 7. Considering the huge impact of Wilson's potential absence and the Mystics' home advantage and their recent form, the Mystics at -2.5 against the spread is a good consideration. For the total, with both teams struggling to score and Wilson out, plus the Mystics defense, I'm taking the under 157 points. My data's favorite is the Mystics. The books like the Mystics also, so I'm going to take Mystics on the money line for my data. But that danger pick, that highlights how close the numbers are, okay? Considering qualitative factors, especially faces, are without Wilson, who's questionable, it makes that Mystic pick feel more confident than the numbers alone suggest on the money line. Be sure to read up a few minutes before tip-off just to make sure that you're going to go the right way on this. And maybe don't even take the money line if you don't want. There's no shame in that. All right, that's it for today, guys. Quick recap: we don't have any decent Eddie confident money line picks. We don't have any decent Eddie suboptimal money line picks. We do have the 2 danger picks. That's Mystics and Lynx. For parlays, you guys know I will include confident picks and parlays, but we don't have any by my data today. So what I'll say is I will always endorse up to a 3-leg parlay with odds between -400 and -450. If you do that, your odds are going to stay above 50%. Regardless of what you choose, I never recommend more than a 3-leg parlay due to the risks of combined probabilities. And remember, don't spend more than 10% of your bankroll in total across all your wagers in a day. Never chase losses. And if you need help with a gambling problem, check out my channel's description. All right, so thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit like, subscribe, leave a comment, tap the bell to get my picks before tip-off on the day of the game. Follow me at Decent Eddie Picks on Instagram, Facebook. You can see me at X, Decent Eddie Picks, spelled P-I-X. TikTok, decent.eddies.picks. I'll post updated team grades, last-minute thoughts, during game thoughts sometimes. Let's see what happens tonight, though. This is Decent Eddie signing off. Have an awesome day.